do the countdown. Oh, we are live. I was gonna set up the countdown.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
What he said.
What I said.
Mr. Duolingo, missed out. That's what I am.
Mr. Pretended to do some Spanish. We actually hope that you're with your families right now.
We wanted to do a live because the last, could this be our last Christmas, has always been on Christmas Eve, has always been in the States, has always been with a question mark, and has always been filled with hope. And so this year it's not hope. It is, we have laid down some serious, not just action plans, but steps. Hello, mi familia. Hey, the Avix girl. Hey, darling. Tanya Brooks. Hopefully y'all have already cooked your meals. You are standing in the kitchen, just putting stuff in the oven. We're at a house sit in Panama, as most of you guys know, but I cannot get over that I'm not cooking. Like usually Christmas Eve, I don't know what your traditions are. You can put them in the chat, but I'm usually cooking the last little bit of something. He's making pies. I'm usually making the kids little treats, cookies and Chex Mix and stuff. While we watch movies or listen to music.
The last few years we've mixed it up a little bit, with a different meal, more than just the standard something. Even at Thanksgiving, because this past Thanksgiving I did a African spice turkey. So, we try to flip it a little bit. Flip it a little bit. So this year we are sitting by this pool.
Oh, well, there was a lot of intention to be out of the States. Like, I want the universe to know exactly what I want for 2025. I'm not leaving it to chance. I'm not leaving it to I'm not even leaving it to just intention. Like I want we have been building momentum since 2022. I got the message this morning that said, you've been on YouTube for 2 years. So, oh yes, girl. Come on now.
Save me a piece of that.
I'm telling you, that caramel cake, my great grandmother, that was her favorite cake to make for our family. I'm trying to remember. I think she had the 4 thin or 5 thin layers for her caramel cake. So yeah, that's good memories.
I'm not making any more desserts till we get home.
So. I tried to make a dessert. So let's see. It's called Pretzel Hugs. You can look it up online. There's recipes for it, but it's the mini pretzels with the Hershey's Hugs Kisses. They have to be hugs, not just the regular chocolate. And then I usually get the red and green M&Ms. Y'all don't come for me for the red dye and look, I know it's bad. We only have it once a year. So
out loud.
But I decided that was the one thing that I wanted us to have for Christmas Day. So I bought the same ingredients. Okay, that it cost me $7 for the Hershey's. It was like $3 a pack for the M&Ms, plain M&Ms. and like $3 for the pretzels. That's the most I have ever spent.
We went to the wrong store.
Well, it was the only store that I knew of that
Right.
had all of the ingredients, and so we bought them all together. And then the chocolate didn't melt the same, even though I used the same recipe. It didn't melt the same. So, like, traditions are probably going to have to be adjusted and changed.
Ask me if I'm going to complain about how the pretzels look.
Look, he was eating them earlier.
I'm gonna be popping like popcorn in front of the football game today. Yes, I am.
So yeah, holiday traditions for us would be definitely having the kids with us. I'm a mother of 3 adult young people. We are parents to 24, 23.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, she's 23.
You might as well
24,
say,
23, and 19-year-olds.
and you might as well say 25, 23, and 20, because
just around the corner.
The first and the last birthdays are just around the corner.
So I've never been away from our children during the holidays. This is I don't like it. I don't like being isolated.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are on a house sit is it's at the beach. I mean, there are a lot of really nice things at this beautiful pool in the background.
It's going to be a rainy day today. So
it's going to be rainy, and we are far away from our friends that live in Panama City. So we are having a Christmas alone. We have been sick during Christmas.
Yes,
we have been, but never away from family and friends. This is hard.
So we prepped for the kids for today. So we bought a few gifts. You know, they're older, so gifts are different now.
They can buy better gifts for themselves than we could for them.
So we bought a few gifts and left them and prepared a meal. I did a big, heavy lasagna and prepped it, and put it in the freezer, and they can put it in the oven today. And the 2 oldest are supposed to make their way home to where the youngest is and hang out. Supposed to. They grown people, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, our daughter worked last night. We tried to make sure everybody's packages got delivered before the holidays. So they worked long, hard hours to make sure that happened. But I've never been without family. I mean, in some capacity,
right?
Even when we've been out of town. So, yeah, it's different. It's different just being the 2 of us. I don't have a Christmas tree, a wreath. Like, I'm feeling kind of like I'm gonna have Christmas when I get back home.
If it weren't going to be raining today, we would probably go out.
Yeah,
and at least
look around. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's been a good, quiet time.
They don't celebrate.
We don't have to
visibly celebrate Christmas like we do.
At midnight, the fireworks went haywire at midnight.
But there are not a lot of Christmas trees out.
No,
we're gonna upload the pictures.
The visibility that we do in America, the commercialism, isn't here. And I mean, I'm not really
mad about that.
Upset about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel as we get closer to Christmas, I'm just like, be over with already, because you know they start Christmas at Halloween, like Thanksgiving doesn't exist. Which maybe I'm biased. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because it's strictly about family and time and energy and cooking and food and just being together.
Yeah.
Christmas comes with a lot of expectations and planning and
I love the lights. I love the greenery. There are a lot of memories. I spent a lot of time thinking about the intention my parents gave to creating Christmas memories for us, and realizing how much we're going to have to pivot. I mean, I didn't have boxes and boxes of Christmas ornaments and stuff, but I have scaled back a lot. We started pretty intensely last Christmas with the Christmas declutter. Mm-hmm. So I had 5 sets of Christmas ornament styles. So blues and reds and golds and the old bells and things like that. And we trim back to maybe one or two different styles. Like, I mean, if it doesn't fit in the box.
And as they were getting older, we were doing that anyway because it was more kiddie tree when they were younger, and it became a little more grown up.
Look, I had a 9.5 foot Christmas tree. That was a lot to put together.
That was a banging tree, though. I love that tree.
Our son was like, when I move into my apartment, I was like, dude,
there'll be no room for you in the apartment because it was 9 feet tall.
Yeah,
it was about almost 6 feet wide at the base.
Yeah,
so it was a big, and so putting that tree away every year and putting it together it was a beast.
Yeah.
Hey, Be Well Magazine, Merry Christmas to you too.
Merry Christmas. So, warm weather Christmas. I don't know if anyone else struggled with that. My husband's from Florida. So palm trees with Christmas lights on it. I'm like,
I got on my sandals.
Where is my coat and boots and muffs?
No, I got on my sandals and my linen. Yes.
So it's just a different. If it's a different kind of Christmas. I only got used to winter Christmases because of getting married to you, and was so grateful to be able to leave the cold of Birmingham, Alabama, and go into South Florida, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance. Going to the beach Christmas Day, what is that?
Best Christmas tree is a palm tree, baby.
So, I mean, I think we wanted to have this conversation about setting intentions, getting momentum before the new year if you're considering moving abroad. If you have moved abroad, like being intentional about this is a great time of year if you've got community of locals, expats to participate in, church services or community service or, reaching out to folks that normally gather because people tend to be kind of open to that. Don't isolate. If there's an opportunity, even I have a friend that lives in Spain, but she goes to Portugal a lot. And, even though she has family there, she's like, I am learning to really tap into community in different places and how each community has something new to offer, has something that is unique. And it's helping me to learn more about myself. And as someone who really I like to nest during times like this. I know I'm going to have to push myself out of the house, push myself to engage, but I know how important community can be to enhancing my experience now that this is my new lifestyle.
I'm gonna comment on that. Let me say hello to the luxury bucket list.
Hello.
Absolutely warm Christmas. That's what it's about. She and Tanya telling the truth. That's what it's about. During various parts of this visit, we have had and will have the opportunity to visit with people that we've interviewed on the show. We get to meet them in person, even though we've been communicating like we're old time friends, and get a chance to hopefully to meet a few people that we had to meet some new people.
Yeah.
I am learning the value of that connection. Now, and I will explain. So I'm an engager by nature. I socialize fairly easily. I have to adjust when people don't not connect to me, when people don't
that's not
receive
their vibe.
me easily. Yeah. But I've had enough experience in my behavioral science background that I know how to back off. I'm not one of the people that's like, you gonna like me. You know, I'm not that person. But in this Move Abroad, when we first started this, and we were really having conversations, and people were like, "Oh, the community, where's the Black people?" And I was like, "Get a grip. We're there for the locals." And
there's value there.
I still maintain that philosophy that I really would like a large portion of my engagement to be
getting to know
the national locals more than the foreign locals. But I'm also recognizing the importance of having people to connect to whose experience beyond I'm alive, you know, we share some history, you know, we came from somewhere, we're new somewhere, our race, our background, there's a history to us. And I'm learning to appreciate that, especially as I'm trying to expand my personal and individual social engagement. I've done a few Man Monday sessions, and I hope you all will go check those out, where I talk about, you know, how we, Black men in particular, are increasingly having less social friends, social involvement, and there are a variety of reasons. Is that rain getting on you? I feel it.
No, it feels good.
It just started raining. There's social engagement and wanting to connect in a way that is authentic. And I think because historically I have had to deal with an all or nothing kind of relationships, realizing that it's okay to be the way I am. Friendships with guys, my best friend and I, we might talk to each other once a month, sometimes once every few months. And there's no loss, there's no, and in the gentlemen that I've been engaging virtually that we've met through this process, there's that when we talking, and when we not, there's no, oh, you ain't called me, you ain't contacted me. That's not our thing. The ladies
we chatted up.
Y'all live together.
So silly.
Y'all live together. And I mean, and that's okay. And I really am, you know, to our conversation yesterday, I really am okay. I worry. I honestly worry when there's a disconnect, when we've made a connection, because I want to make sure that I haven't done something to disrespect somebody or make them uncomfortable in my permanentness, you know. But it is I am continuing to learn the value of this connection. Hey, Love Park Connection.
Hey.
Merry Christmas. Glad to have you here with us.
Hey, Angela and Pierre.
It's just, you know, using them as an example. I really enjoyed the conversation we had with them on their channel. And we were talking about you all this morning.
Yes.
So expect a contact from us.
Yes.
Because different mindsets, different people, different experiences, different expectations. I believe those conversations keep the mind fresh. They keep the mind active and young. I've avoided cliques since I was a kid. You know, because if I wanted me, I could be with me. I like a measure of diversity, not so much conflict that you know, you make me want to toss you off into the pool, but you know, enough that makes me go, I hadn't considered that, or here's why I feel the way I do. Give me a chance to, beyond my own talking to myself, defend my values and views. So
I have to say, let's see. So one of the things that is a tradition that will definitely change is we usually take a family photo, and that's the what's on our Christmas card. And I was sending out a photo of you and me with a happy holidays message
virtually,
and getting a lot of those back. So I'm just, whoo, that's just new. Like, I love putting them on the fireplace. Those cards from from family members and friends, and it just feasibly doesn't make sense. Buying something for Christmas doesn't make a whole lot of sense when we're now having to consider, I'm gonna have to put this eventually. I'm gonna have to put this in a suitcase.
A large part of our Christmas gift
was this trip.
It's the plane tickets. Yeah.
So I mean, it's new. It's I love a sweet potato pie. I haven't seen not one sweet potato in Panama. Not one sweet potato in Costa Rica.
We have been to several stores.
And
no
again, collard greens, y'all.
And I'm trying
barely any kale.
One of the things that I've been saying to her is I was just like, we're not in that region. We're not in the region of those items. There are a lot of even the potatoes that are here that are local are different than the typical Idaho potato, russet potatoes. There are a small local
or maybe regional,
regional kind of potato. And I mean, I find them to be a little starchier. I've had to cook them differently. Stuff is way more organic. We talk about all the time. Several years ago, when the church we were attending, one of the members, older guy, he's a
master gardener. I don't care what he calls himself.
He started a garden back there in the back of the church, and he grew corn and beans and greens and cabbage and peppers. Anyway, it was corn season, and we took some corn home, and I threw that corn in the pot. In about 10 minutes, I took that corn out the pot, and that corn was not cooked. And
it was like the corn we grew up with you needed to put in there for like an hour.
You had to boil corn for an hour. And I kept telling, man, something wrong with your corn. Because I forgot, with all this modified vegetables and things, they making them sweeter, they making them quicker to cook. And that has its validity. I'm not mad at that. But there is a
rusticness.
Right. And the food here, the vegetable, we talked about it Saturday. We found a little freezer section of frozen vegetables. If you want vegetables, you are cooking them. If you want mixed vegetables for your fried rice, you are cutting peas.
You're
shucking peas and cutting carrots. Is what it is.
Yeah.
And for a person like me, I love that freshness, that directness in the food. But you got to plan for that. Sabongale, big sis, what's happening, girl? Good to see you.
Hey, happy holidays. I know you're with family. Thank you so much for sending your holiday greeting to us.
Absolutely. So, Jovan, we are in Coronado, Panama.
Yeah.
We have been here. Today would be a week and a half. We're doing a pet sit, a house sit. We'll be here till the end of this week, and then we're moving to our next location. 2 weeks ago we were in Costa Rica,
San Jose,
and we're headed to Ecuador from here, and then Colombia from there. This is our scouting trip, and we got a video coming about that.
Several videos,
and Merry Christmas to you.
Absolutely.
And so this has been I don't have a problem, and again, this is one of the things, I probably need to do a video of this too. I like diversity. I like the opportunity to try and test new things. A lot of people in the Black community have learned to kind of be singular in what they like. We had a conversation this week, and a gentleman said, I don't like Asian food. So my natural question is, what about it don't you like? And he's like, I don't like Asian food. And his wife was like, he likes soul food.
He likes, yeah.
And I mean, hey, no respect here. I was like, don't misunderstand. I'm not mad. I mean, I think I've worked with people, and a young lady was around me one day, and it might have been Publix. They had some beautiful fried plantain, and she was like, what is that? And I was like, I bought it, and I was like, try something. She was like, I'm not eating that. I don't know what that is. Now, I worked at a university, and I deal with that with students a lot. And I feel sometimes like we've lost the ability to diversify. So even though there aren't a lot of the things here that I'm looking for,
and
I can plan
those
for
of
those
us
things.
Who have texture preferences,
and
requirements, like if it don't smell like the things that I'm used to smelling, hey, when we go to Thailand, this one is not eating no durian. None, zero.
No.
Don't bring it near me. I don't want it in a smoothie.
And again, don't misunderstand me.
I don't want it raw.
I'm not talking about trying everything. I'm talking about, okay, this isn't available. What are my other options? This black man does not use Old Bay and Lawry's. And I know that is like the sin. You know, if I'm using Lawry's and Old Bay, it's a specific recipe that calls for those things and that flavor. I'm the dude who says what's in those things and let me adjust it how I want it. I like basic, but that's my approach. Not mad that you do what you do, how you do. I'm just telling you, it's my approach. So when I walk into a store here and they got Maggie's seasoning, Maggie's is big in the islands. I'm from Florida. I know how to break that up and turn it into something else. I don't mind the walkthrough. I don't mind having just ginger, garlic, onions, whatever. But again, it's a learning process because there have been some things I've been like, man, it took us 3 stores before I was able to visually locate cheese, like shredded cheese. And I didn't buy any of it because it was $8 for a pack, the little shredded pack. Okay, then I need to come up with something else for that meal.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna show. This is how I want it. This is the life. You see that? You see, Coda? That's the life I want right there. Like, not a care in the world. Life is good. I mean, like napping. Like I worked hard today.
Been shot by the slow bug.
This will be our last Christmas. I'm a lot more confident moving in the world from an international perspective. Like, even though I haven't, when we left at the beginning, we ate out a lot more than we did on subsequent trips. We are getting better at navigating equivalents using Google Translate I was like, okay, so I know what pollo is. I know how to look at a label and tell, okay, this has meat in it. And so a lot of those things that I might not be able to find a product that I'm familiar with, like a brand, but I will have to begin to transition because financially they can be more expensive. So yeah, the luxury bucket list, I agree with you. There is a video. We had Aisha. She is the Abroad Ability. She lives here in Panama. She has cats. She talks about how much it costs to ship her cat food. And she was like, we're going to have to slowly make a transition because not just cost, but what happens is they'll have it and then they won't have it. They'll have it and they won't have it. We went back to get some. Oh, so delicious. So I eat a plant-based yogurt, and there was plenty on the shelf. When I went back, the style, the plain that I usually get was not on the shelf. And so if you have a pet that is on a particular, if you can begin to make your own dog food, or
all right, the host
here,
part of Coda's meal is homemade.
Yeah.
So she gets a purchased product mixed with home product.
Yeah.
What's your favorite so far? I'm not sure what you were asking me about. So
I think she was asking about which country, because I think I saw it pop up right after. It depends. The purpose of our trip was a little different.
We started this trip without Costa Rica or Panama being
on
our list.
Blaxit list.
I really enjoyed Costa Rica. I could live in Panama if something were happening, but I don't know if I would choose Panama. I wouldn't choose where we've been in Panama. We were in San Jose in Costa Rica. I liked San Jose. I liked the energy. I liked the vibe. I liked the people. The people here, and I've heard it from several people, not just here in Coronado, Panamanians in general, are a little less interested, engaged.
But hey,
you know what? I thought
about this. I thought about that this morning. I wonder if it's based on your Spanish competency.
It might be. It might be.
How am I going to vibe with you if we can't communicate? I cannot judge friendliness based off. And I think Costa Rica gave us a little bit.
And that's why I said
of a welcome vibe, because we ran into more English speakers. We have fewer.
And that's why I said their engagement and not their friendliness. Right. They have not been unfriendly here.
Right.
But their engagement is kind of like, okay, you here, you're not here. You speak it, you don't speak it. You don't speak what I'm speaking, and there was no disrespect.
Right.
I don't feel disrespected here.
Right.
It just there felt more kind of like in Mexico too. There felt more like an effort to help me into the conversation.
Yeah.
If I was making some attempt, there was an effort. Here it was just kind of like, I'm going to talk and I'm going to point and then I'm going to move you along. And I'm trying to get out of the way.
At the grocery store, the guy, I said, no, I don't want a bag. And he was like, well, let me go get you a box.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So it isn't bad. Yes, Jovan, we are really just trying to figure out where we're settling down. So we're just flowing through and trying a lot of things. We had this opportunity. We planned for it. As we said in our live on Saturday, and videos that we'll be sharing in the next couple of weeks, this was a all-in-one inclusive. Let's go because we're in the area, quote unquote area kind of thing.
Another aspect of will this be our last Christmas? Definitely being more confident. I got sick on this trip, as you guys can possibly hear. I'm real nasally. And getting sick, whether it was just a cold, a virus, an asthma flare-up, I feel more confident. I've navigated wheezing in a couple of places. I have navigated. We had GI issues in Morocco.
Oh, God. But that was my fault. That wasn't their fault. That was my fault.
That
was my
Who has 2 mango milkshakes in one day? This one.
It was so good.
And it was so dry there, I had to get used to it. And I was very glad. I now am confident that packing well includes taking your emergency supplies, but also knowing what to do in an emergency. So walking this neighborhood, even though I couldn't see map wise, what was nearby, there's a fire station, maybe about a half a block, maybe a full block up the road. On the way out of the community is a doctor's office. Mm-hmm. Even though they close at 5, there is a doctor's office. I found the lab, on the main highway here. And y'all know the pharmacies, if you have an idea of what's going on with you, they'll give you the prescription as long as you don't have any contraindications. So they'll ask you. I usually bring my medicine bottles so they can see what I'm taking, so that I can ask if there's a conflict with what they are prescribing. We were able to navigate a asthma medication conversation with a pharmacist mm-hmm. in Costa Rica, mm-hmm. where she didn't speak any English and I didn't speak any Spanish. And she was like, are you allergic to any medicine? And I was like, yes. The medication is the same said between the countries. And she gave me a prescription. I mean, she gave me the medication without having to have a prescription because I didn't have one. It's too expensive in the States for me to even get it filled. So I feel more confident about being able to take care of my needs. Sabangale will laugh. She laughed at me, y'all. She laughed at me because I brought oil of oregano. I did not have my honey. And so I knocked that stuff back with nothing and allowed the fire and brimstone of oil of oregano to light up my whole throat. I was just like, I just want to drink. Okay, don't ever do that. But it has helped on this trip. When I started feeling bad after we had gotten in the pool, I knew I was going to start with oil of oregano. Always have you some warm salt water. That'll help you. I have my eucalyptus oil that helps to open my airways. So, I mean, if there are things that you know that are important to you, I suggest that you get out in these streets and try things to get more confident, because it may not be the hurdle you think it is, or you haven't, all it takes is a little bit more planning.
We got a few questions coming through. I want to answer for people moving on. So happy holidays, TJ.
Hey.
Hey, Agent Grape. Hey, Cedric and Bobby. Good to see you. Yeah, you had the same. The locals had to tell them. Yeah. We've learned a few things from the locals. What do I do with this?
Yeah, you probably have to boil it, then grill it.
Yeah. Listen, you can zip line all. Yeah. The fact that you had to be halfway through it to forget it, to regret it. We were watching.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
sent
Robin
us a
Elise
video.
of Intentional Metamorphosis. We're
They
at a
sent me
restaurant.
the video.
And they were on a high rise, and across the high rise, they had a zip line going out from one part of the high rise.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Hey, all I could see was Girls Trip. And Jada Pinkett and Girls Trip. If you know, you know.
Yeah, this has really been, being able to see a lot of the things together has been really helpful.
And to hear our different perspectives on
the different places
to see if our individual preferences were met.
Right.
I'm really, you being honest about how you feel has really been important to me. Y'all know I have struggled with accepting that he's just like, I could probably go just about anywhere. And he's right. I mean, Herman's flexibility has been a real asset. And I have learned to calm down about 1,000.
No idea what she's talking about. No idea. Next question.
Yeah.
Durian. Oh, good go.
Really?
Yeah.
And I also immediately regretted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't judge you, but I'm with Javon on this one. Yeah, what's some stuff we really going to eat? Yes.
Was there a way that you found, because I think you can they also bake it into baked goods, put it in ice cream. So no.
Yeah.
Hey, not just
Merry
straight
Christmas,
up.
Aileen. Good to see you here today. Nichelle Gaynor dropped through. Good to see you, Nichelle.
Absolutely.
Hey. Yeah, we'll celebrate together.
Yeah, I love a good pecan pie. We found a pecan tart in Costa Rica. So sometimes there can be a local equivalent, or just being open to those new traditions. I'm just like, it's a new day, y'all. I'm not stuck in my ways. When I say I'm not stuck in my ways, like, there's a lot more flexibility I should give myself credit for. Mr. No Hostels, I think we may find a way. We may find a hostel that kind of works. We found out that some hostels, a hostel it is not a hotel, but it is a community housing situation. Sometimes it's kind of dormitory style where they're bunk beds. they may be separated out by gender, or they have communal restroom facilities, but some hostels also have, you can pay a little bit extra and they have like a little private room.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking for a hostel, so I can say he's tried a hostel.
So to be clear,
but a way that feels
so to be
good
clear,
for him.
so to be clear, so there's several things. Security and silence are a thing for me. Two things: security and silence. And when I first started seeing hostels, you had a room with 6 bunk beds and strangers. That's a no for me. That's a no for me, just because when I'm asleep, I can't rest if I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
And I don't know you, I don't feel safe. I'm already a very light sleeper. So they were showing people sitting up, they talking, they holding conversations. There are people who can fall asleep in a thunderstorm, fall asleep in a volcano, eruption. Me, you whisper my name and I'm awake. So, it's a thing for me to have that kind of peace and space. Or there was something we saw where you were climbing into with like an MRI machine. And having had an MRI, I don't care to repeat that experience. But there are more that are small space but private.
Yeah.
And so I'm open to the general experience as long as my safety and silence needs can be met. But if it's just one night, I mean, we slept in Costa Rica with a train going by at 5 o'clock.
I was like,
morning.
oh, the train. I tried using my noise cancellation. It was like, we reject that. Yeah. But I fell asleep. Hold on just a second. Yes. I fell asleep right after, so it wasn't as big a deal because that view is the bomb. Yes. You got sick? Oh no. It was washed. Yeah. So let's see. Did we drink the water? We did not. We have decided not to drink the water. In Panama, we started off and I was just like, I don't want to take a chance. Because getting sick on this trip is a no. Oh, and like we talked about earlier this week, we got travel insurance. So if there was an emergency, that took down some of my anxiety too. If I needed to go to a doctor, hospital, if I had to have a procedure done, like I did not want to have to, I didn't want to have to deal with it, because being sick, it could definitely go sideways. Why? Oh, yes.
Yeah,
good question.
Partially because we understand it to be less expensive, but I also am, as I shared before, as a empath, energy space is big for me, and I think I have a connection to the Latin community. And potentially to the Asian community. I think we as people, as Black people, have a connection to the Latin and Asian communities. And so there was let's find out if that's true. There also is a very large community of African Americans this way.
Yeah.
So it gave us kind of that soft landing approach.
African American expats and right. Connection to the native African cultures.
Right.
We did not get a chance to go to Limon or in Costa Rica. We will not have time to go to Colón here. If you know, in addition to the Panamanians that helped to build the Panama Canal, there was also a large amount of Caribbeans that came to help to contribute to the building of the Panama Canal. I see Cedric. I wish I was not eating meat because of the antibiotics and stuff. I'm not one of those for the peace of the animals and not that, but I cannot chew, like my mouth. I can't. Not fish, not beef, not chicken. Like I don't like me and plants vibe. Me and meat, we parted ways.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
almost 10 years ago. And before then, before when I met you, I was vegan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So I'm putting all these up here because it's proof that the Extra Bucket List is a player. We see you. We see you. Yeah, you getting somebody to come out to share a date.
Oh yeah.
Went to the French, Italian, Germans, and then the translator fell in love.
All right now.
Oh, he ain't mad.
Hey, now Stephanie Perry, connected to the Exodus Summit community. It was all about, that is the way to meet. What did she call it? She called it tour dates. So she did, what is it called? I don't even know the dating apps, as I should not. But that's a great way to meet a local and get a tour from a local perspective, is to use, what's the name of the no hard feelings if you know.
I have no clue.
Starts with a T.
Tinder.
Yes, so Tinder. She would call them Tinder tour dates.
That name bothers me so much. Sidebar.
Yes.
If you're gonna go through dating apps, double date. Go with somebody you know.
Yes.
Because you're going to meet somebody you don't know.
Right. Have somebody check in with you.
That's a father of a 25-year-old daughter speaking right there. Okay, anyway. Let's see.
Did I miss that you've quit your jobs? Are you kidding me? Not yet.
We wish. So what we talked about
is a significant amount of time.
What we did was we pre-planned.
Yes.
We decided earlier in the year that we were going to take this trip. I think we decided some aspects of the trip even before we got the house.
The house sit, yeah.
And then we expanded from there, and then we saved time and money to prepay and have enough time to expand. So we're away for 5. The total time is 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah. So there are some really special things that I really like about my job. One is I accrue a good amount of time every pay period for time off for PTO. I also have the blessing of what's called a 980 schedule, which means every pay period I get an off day that is not against my PTO. And so what I did was I combined, and then the third thing is we have something, because I work in manufacturing, we have what's called shutdown. So the entire last week of the year through New Year's Day, we get off between Christmas and New Year's. When I say it is a blessing to work for my employer, it has afforded a lot of opportunities. And so what we did was we said, well, since the focus of 3/4 of the year is going to be paying off debts, then we will travel. What do you call that? We'll travel thoughtfully, mindfully. So we did house sits that were away from home, but they were in the States, where we could continue to work virtually, and then take advantage of those 3-day weekends, 4-day weekends with holidays, and really just stack the paid time off, and then group it all together and take a longer trip. So yeah, that is I can travel for the most part in anywhere I don't require a passport. So I'm just, there's a lot of gratitude. And so we just took the opportunities and stacked them together for this, to have a longer trip. So, and then y'all know I'm on a budget. This sister not gonna be out here running up credit card debt when I'm trying to pay off debt to get outside the state. So yeah, once we secured the house sit, which was a good chunk of this trip time, which you're exchanging, no free accommodation for, maintaining a home, caring for a pet. Y'all have seen our beautiful pet, Coda, who is living her best life.
Somebody shut that down.
Don't say that. She is just really enjoying Christmas Day. We have been very.
Is it too hot?
Is it too hot, baby? Okay.
Take it inside.
Yeah. So he's gonna take her inside.
Answer that question.
But yeah, we prepaid this trip, so all of the Airbnbs have been where we could pay it off. And so that's what we did. We used booking.com to pay for, transportation from the airport to our Airbnb, gave ourselves a weekly cash budget, and just saved a little bit during probably the last half of the year after we paid off most of the debts. And then you just do that. You just do it. And it has been really nice to be able to say zero. There's nothing on the cards. There's nothing on anything. We don't have the, what do you call that? The regret, the vacation regret, because we've stacked up new bills. And so, yeah. Do I want to go back? No. Do I want to leave my job? Yeah, no, but we outside, and that's what you want to give yourself enough time to realize what it's like to not have to have the buildup of, we're finally on the trip. And then by the time you're starting to enjoy yourself, you go, okay, I got to be back at work in a day or two. This has been really nice. How many countries have we been to? If you're talking about on this trip, it's just been 2.
Right.
Yeah. This trip was to continue down into Central America. So we have a lot of friends or contacts that we have in Panama. We have friends and some contacts, limited contacts, but Costa Rica was about rest. Everybody that we've talked to, Pura Vida is a lifestyle. It is a vibe. And I was like, I need rest. So that was really the focus. And I was like, but we could live here too.
Yeah.
When the building that we stayed in, we got some rates for, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. It was nice, centrally located. So yeah, I mean,
if you mean total, we started in 2021 or 2022?
2022, the first time, and I don't count Tijuana.
No, 2022. So
my first trip outside the U.S. was to Mexico City.
Yeah, so it was Mexico, there was Marrakesh, there was Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was...
And then we didn't do anything else. Oh, we went back to Mexico in 2023, at the end of 23 to extend our visa.
Right.
So for 3 years.
And then this trip, which will make 4 more.
That will total 4 more.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm a newbie to international travel. I've never visited an island. That's gonna change in 2025. I've got a huge announcement about making that opportunity available to folks that might want to leave, on their first trip or make their first solo international trip. That'll be my first solo international trip. And I look forward to sharing a lot more about how I'm planning that and who I'm planning it with. So more to come. Yes, I like. What's that? You already did that one?
No, right below it.
Okay.
Devoted oil of oregano user.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. You better come correct with the oil of oregano, because I optimally will use it with honey. I look, it's the strong organic version, and I put some drops in there. We're 5+ drops because I'm like, we're gonna knock this out. So within 24 hours between that and warm salt water, I feel a little better. I'm still tired. I probably take 2 naps a day versus my standard 1 nap.
Yeah, we wouldn't try to zip line in here.
No zip lining. What? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Somebody was skydiving.
With Agent Grateful here,
Brazil. That's where I saw the skydiving.
So the only time I've been to islands is when I was a kid, and the first time, the first time we were in Jamaica, they had the multicolored maize corn, and that was outside of some camping. That was the first time I ever had it like put in the fire. It's the best corn. I can remember that to this day. I was 8. That was wonderful corn. Let's see. Yeah, I'm working through them. I'm working through them. Age, and see, that was what my concern was, because it looked like there was every time I saw any information on hostels, it was 20-year-olds, and yeah, they live at a different pace than I do. I don't have the. I don't have it. I hated living in the dorm in college. I despised it. Our campus, our alma mater, and this was again early to mid 90s. Because it was a Christian campus, they wouldn't let us. We had to get, unless we signed ourselves in as students, we had to get parental permission before 22 to move off campus. Of course, my folks weren't having it. So I lived on campus for 4 years in a guy's dorm with on and off with roommates, and I can hear everything from I was on the 3rd floor. I can hear everything from the 1st floor. Hostels just remind me of dorms. I have enough problems with apartments. So hostel is just one of those things that I will try so that I can say that I tried it. If it's not something that is long-term, and it's going to like make me frustrated for days on end. Yeah, just way too communal. But as Sabongale is sharing here, I'm finding that some of them do have private rooms and private space. So we're checking that because, again, a smaller space doesn't bother me. A communal, and I'm using that word generally, a communal space doesn't bother me. I don't know at this point in my life if I want to share showers with strangers or share showers that strangers are using. But again, I know how to adapt. When the kids were younger, so 2014, we took them to an international camping trip in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And there were campers from all over the world. And you had to understand that hygiene is approached differently worldwide. And so you're talking about sharing porta potties, sharing showers, sharing. So I'm aware of how to manage my personal space and hygiene because I've done it. And that was 10 days.
Yeah.
So, 10 days with worldwide kids. Whoo, that's a whole thing.
It's new.
And so, I can make it work, but if I don't have to, hostel.
Yes. Hostels are far a bit too communal.
Yeah, that's what I just put on there. Yeah.
No.
So I'm working through all my challenges. Let's see.
Oh, you know what? You know why I know this? Maybe that this will be our last Christmas. I have accepted that there's more than just moving abroad. There's slow travel where I don't have to choose a place, which means we've done 2 weeks. We could do a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and just slowly try, not even knowing. I may enter a country not knowing where I'm going next. And that's okay. I'm relaxing out of a lot of the structure that I required on myself, because now I know how to that push pull from the budget perspective. I think the idea of being a flexpat. Sabangale and I talked about that. She was like, my husband likes what he likes in the States, even though he's not from the States. He likes, and so we'll spend some time there and then spend some time here. And that is okay. Like, there's people who try to create rigidity, you know, like you not being faithful to the move abroad culture or something. Like, it's got to work for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, people saying, I have grandchildren back in the States, and I make it a point to see them on video chat and things like that. But Mama, G Mama need her hugs from her grandchildren. That's a good thing to recognize and build into the lifestyle.
In this move abroad, convince your partner conversation, yes, we're jumping back to that. I think that those are good things that are coming out, that we're finding that couples are having those conversations. This is what my expectations are. This is what I'm looking for. This is what is a challenge for me. And we were having conversations with some friends recently. There are more, because often that convince your partner is directed towards husbands. And husbands are saying, a lot of times, I'm not against it, but there's some things that I expect you wanting to change, and then we fall into whatever your interest level is. Where do I fit into this process? And regardless of who the partner is, if this is not a shared experience that benefits both partners, I use them all the time. Lamar and Angela Martin. I mean, he has a thing. Lamar likes to be in a place. And wherever that place is, he likes to have his access to RC racing. So he and Angela sat down. He was open to the move, but where the move was had to meet that criteria for him, and then everything else was negotiable.
I don't even think that from my conversations, I think he wanted to be able to do the racing. She looked for a place where it could be done convenient to where they lived, like, to be able to have that give and take from a partnership.
Right.
Michelle, we do. That was Thailand was where we started. Get this. We shared this earlier on last Saturday. Our son now is looking at colleges in Japan. Like, where they do that at? I mentioned that there were English speaking universities, and he was like, he took it up himself to looking into those options. He's looking at a semester abroad. Like, I just, as a parent, when you hear that your children are broadening their perspectives, I feel like I'm doing a little bit. I'm still doing a little bit right.
Thailand, I'm more interested in the possibility of Thailand than Japan. Living wise, and again, I'm making that statement not having been there. My understanding and research says that Japan have a kind culture. They are courteous and kind. That is not the same as accepting
or welcoming.
Yeah. And I think sometimes as people who have been dismissed for so long, we misunderstand the two. I have no disillusionments about the difference between kind and accepting. Two totally different things.
Yeah.
But I won't know till I put my feet on the ground for myself. But we are open to. There are a lot of places in Southeast Asia that are on our scouting list.
Absolutely. List. But you got to be willing to invest that time and invest that money to be able to because those 23-hour plane rides,
we don't know either.
No, not where they came from. Oh, wow.
Enough said.
Wow. I'm much too cranky.
Yeah.
You got to know your personality. You really do.
Yeah.
I was laughing, but you really got to know if you know it's going to drive you up one wall and down the next to be in a rural area where there's not a lot going on. The movie theater sign, the movie theater sign has 2 movies on it. If that will drive you up one wall and down the other, if there's not a major mall, look at your current life.
Mm-hmm.
What brings you joy about your current way of moving in the world? How you need or desire convenience? I have decided that for this to be our last Christmas, we may have to build up to some of the places that we go. So we may have to choose. Honduras, a lot of people are saying it's a good price point. It's a welcoming culture. There are a lot of like homestay language learning programs there. And so I could still be on US time and have a low cost of living without some of the other bells and whistles that I would prefer, like a major international airport to travel. Sometimes you got to find out, where can I just get out the door and have some time, even if it's I'm getting out the door with a basic savings. I want to be able to get out the door, and then I can kind of, with having some research, figure it out. That I've started a business that when I have more time, I can grow it, but I need my expenses to be low to kind of be a buffer to my risk. And then I might be able to move to a Mexico, or there may be some desirable places in Mexico, like San Miguel, but I might need a tighter price point. And so just taking a look at, I might desire to go to Portugal. There's a lot about, hey, how can I afford a emergency plane ticket back? You know, could I? Yes, Lisbon may be the place that I desire. Maybe I have to live outside of there. Can I afford the visa? Do I have the ability? They're just, y'all, if you are taking, I got to find my one place, you are missing the multiple ways that listening to other people who have moved abroad have opened our eyes to, oh, you mean you can get out on a student visa and then work your way up to qualifying for a digital nomad visa, and then getting to 50, and then you can do a retirement visa. Like, y'all, like,
really
stop saying that there's only one way.
Well, again, I want to encourage. I think sometimes the we view the world in American geography. In the rest of the world, America, our 50 states would be 50 countries, and you're not going to tell somebody, "Hey, I'm moving to Texas." Okay, where in Texas are you moving? And you know, I don't like Texas. Okay, where were you in Texas? Well, I was in Houston, and something happened. Okay, but what about the rest of Texas?
Right.
And really, you know, broaden your mindset. Mexico's official title is the United States of Mexico. That's the official government title of Mexico. There are several states in the country of Mexico. Africa is a continent with countries, and in those countries are hundreds of cities, and each portion of Africa is a different style, a different religion, a different culture, a different color of people. You got to see the world a little more descriptively than we tend to see it. Kind of like, you know, oh, I'm just going to, and so I didn't like this city. There might be places in Portugal, using that as an example, where there might be a better quality of life for you than some of the standard places everybody's going. And that applies to Mexico, that applies to Panama, that applies to anywhere in the world. That applies to America. Okay? I
got a checklist of 50. I could have a checklist of 50 things, but if I can boil it down to 12 or 15 things that are really critical for me. I need to be within an emergency medical transport of a level 1 trauma center, because of my health issues. When I was in the ACRA group, and they were like, we're used to dialing 911 and an emergency vehicle being dispatched to my location within 3 to 5 minutes. You have health issues. You might want to make sure you can actually get to get to a hospital, because it may not work like that. We're going to put together another video, because I didn't realize that there was an app that you can download that will make sure that, so that you will know the country code. A lot of us don't know that. I didn't realize that knowing the country code will get you to, in addition to knowing what the emergency number is, but you need to know the country code. So, I mean, just little things that I feel like that I thought were barriers. Cedric and Bobby kept saying, I think you can Airbnb in your neighborhood. I'm pretty sure. And like, had belly laughter when I was like, man, there's like 20 there's 20 rental homes in our neighborhood that I thought didn't allow it at all, because I couldn't see it on the Airbnb map. Right. And so you don't know what you don't know. Don't allow barriers that you think are there. There's more than one way to positioning yourself, whether it's, hey, I take some time off with some FMLA, I stack my time and take 2 to 3 good weeks to explore some places.
Yeah, those government jobs.
Oh yeah,
you got to plan, and again, when you find something good, because they set the time up for you. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, she is living her best life, and ours too, apparently.
She is a Siberian Husky. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good call.
Yes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Learn what your job offers and take advantage. Yeah. Yes, you earned it.
Yeah, not just that, but if you haven't read your handbook, some jobs offer a sabbatical after a certain amount of, you vest, after 3 years, after 5 years, after 10 years, find out what's available. Because I didn't know that the longer you stay with the company, the more your PTO increases. And I was like, but I pay attention to my pay stubs. And I was like, there's a change here. What happened? Is this incremental, or, was this a one-time thing? And they were like, no, once you get to 3 years, once you get to 5 years, once you get to 7 years, it looks different. It's the golden handcuffs, but it's available. It is available. So, hey.
So yes, we are just getting started, and thank you for support. We will continue to jump through.
Hi, Sonia.
Mind and Manna, what's happening?
Feliz Navidad.
Anthony, we appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
We are learning as we go.
Yeah, just learning to be respectful in the space. Really? Okay, you have to tell me. Because paragliding is what we want to do when we visit Brazil.
But I'm still saying to myself that I'm going to skydive one day. But I don't have the fear of heights. I have the fear of falling. We were standing in the balcony in our apartment, in our Airbnb in Costa Rica. Was about that wide. We was taking all those pictures of the city, those cityscapes we showed.
Yeah, but we did not show you how much was. The wind was so strong that it was shaking.
I don't mind being up. It's the looking down and realizing there's not enough space here. There's a video on a short on YouTube of a guy walking across, like the Grand Canyon has that glass walkout observation deck.
Never do that.
And he's walking across it, and then it has these fake cracks that come in like it's breaking up, and he jumps onto the railing. Yeah, that's me. My knees my knees go Belteshazzar. I get weak in the knees. Okay. Let's see.
Swim with sharks? Yeah. Okay. I've not taken a cruise before. So I'm that's on my list is we want to take a cruise. So that I can do some.
Yes. Hygiene is not the same everywhere.
Yes.
I'm saying hotels, Jake. She's saying hostels. Yes. Yes. Hotel, no motel, no hostel. But we talking through it.
Yeah. Colleges, you want that extra degree.
If he can get in and I almost said that I can leave him there. If he can get in and have the opportunity to be somewhere else, then that I really hope he can find a way.
That'll give us another reason to be on that side of the world for sure.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So you're getting deep on me here. I spend time as I please in the U.S. My grands and family are there.
Yes.
It's a pleasure spending time with my sister. Yeah.
Being able to move freely in the world.
Yeah.
To move freely in the world doesn't take as much money as you think. If you plan well, if you're able to plan well, and Adelia calls it her OS money. I know that Sonia has another word for it, for emergency funds, but yeah, you may have a family member that has a need, considering how far away you are. To hear a lot of the sisters in Exodus Summit talk about, I missed weddings, I missed funerals, I missed, I have to be okay with not coming home so often.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've also heard the inverse of that. I've been home a lot and it adds up. What do you call that? The feeling that the hit of going to the grocery store after we've come back from a trip and realizing why it costs so much to eat. Like that's a fundamental behavior. And like I'm going into debt. You can't walk into Sam's without spending $100. And I'm not talking about a full buggy. So I just those things make it faux show that I'm going to find my way outside the U.S. Oh, yes. Dallas
Dinesh, thank you for your gift just now. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. I like Bangkok enough. Really?
That's what I
Yes, hear. Bangkok. Oh, too many conveniences. The tram. You just got tram, tuk-tuk, and everything in between. Ride share, low cost.
If we can do convenient and inexpensive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's still nervous about the studio space. I had to go find a job outside, so I'm gone most of the day. But I'll take a little space because once my eyes are closed,
I want to save. As long as it's not a hostel. I want there to be.
As long as it's not a hostel.
We're gonna be hostile. We're going to be hostile.
No, I'm not going
in a studio.
And
hey, Nikki.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and David.
Absolutely. Pam, good to see you.
And Gigi too. Yeah. Merry Christmas, Miss Pamela. Yeah, we're just sharing why we know we started our channel Christmas Eve of 2022 with the question, could this be our last Christmas? And it really was, questioning the possibility. Last year we did, could this be our last Christmas with more hope? We had gotten our visa from Mexico with the help of a facilitator. We knew that 1 year later we were going to go back, and for sure we were going to renew it, extend it for the final 3 years, to make the total of 4 to qualify us for the permanent visa. we knew then that we wanted fewer hands in our pocket, and we had a choice to make. We could have left earlier this year, but I don't think it would have been, I don't think that our budget would have been the way that we need it to be. I think there is some accepting that some things you just, baby, payment plans are payment plans. And if I ain't got it, it's okay.
No, if I ain't got it, you're not going to get it.
Right. There is that as well. But, you know, it's not just how many hands are in your pocket, whose hands are in your pocket. And as long as you are, you're still able to meet your monthly budget and have a few things that are left behind, but don't have 12 hands in your pocket. Don't have consumer debt, you know, credit card debt that you're taking out of the country with you. That is very expensive. But a lot of folks are saying student loans, you know, my income's going to drop once I leave the country. I don't know you don't know me. We good. I file my taxes, even if I don't have, a financial obligation that results from that. So just knowing more, exposing ourselves more to talking to people has given us a lot more confidence. Taking this trip has made us say, ain't no way. There's just no way that I will keep this kind of lifestyle. I'm tearing up because I've had so many of you guys say, y'all look so rested. That my vibration just internally has just been so chill. There's been so much more laughter and rest. Y'all, naps, if you don't have enough naps, not just you take a nap every once in a while because you accidentally fall asleep, but like with intention, it is rest time. I encourage you, when you have the opportunity, to build that into the plan that you have when you are vacationing or whatever. I just, because you don't realize what you're missing by. I didn't miss, I guess I should say. I didn't know what I was missing. Booked and busy. I feel energized. You know, if I'm awake, I'm making money. If I'm asleep, I'm making money. There's relevance to that, but not at the exchange of time. Mm-hmm. And I feel as I've gotten older that is time, and my health are the most valuable things in my life. And it is my job to protect my time. And it is my responsibility to protect my health. And the things that have been going on, that has been a huge cost driver for us. And I'm just like, out here, people care. Functional medicine doctors are a regular part of the clinical. You don't have to do deep investigation to find a functional medicine doctor that sees you as a whole person, not a cardiologist that's just looking at your heart and blood vessels, and your GYN doctor looking at just that part of you, and the hematologist only looking at. I'm a whole person, and I want places that say, let's see, there's so many women in the Women in Panama group that say, my doctor said, let's find a natural remedy first, and then we'll look at pharmaceuticals. Let's help you lose the weight. Weight is not a taboo conversation. Nutrition, exercise are integral. I mean, and this is not because I've gone to a special kind of doctor that they're talking to them. Lady said, I was leaving the hospital and the doctor was talking to me about, this is how I can care for myself. Because she was asking for the prescription she needed to pick up. I need more of that in my life. Yes, recognizing the diversity of the places and the opportunities within them. Yeah. 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 I tell you.
Hey, Dr. Linda.
Hey, Dr. There's my sister. Hey, Dr. Linda. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And congratulations for getting your husband to join you on a video.
She started trouble with it.
Hey, if you are interested in Africa, their video on Cameroon versus Cote d'Ivoire, I'm telling you, we're sharing real conversations. She's moving abroad with young children. Great channel. 35 states in Mexico, and every single one is not Merida, Mexico City, San Miguel, Guadalajara, Chapala. There are so many places to choose from. Mazatlan, y'all. Yeah, just there are beautiful places, beautiful things to discover. And I love discovering them with you. It's new. I mean, like, it's like dating. Getting to know each other in new places together.
You know, people make comments all the time. Oh, you have somebody. When you pack up your bags and it's just you and the air you breathe, you make decisions. When you have another spirit to interact with and to take into account their needs, their dreams, their expectations, their fears, their concerns. There's a lot more to that than I think people take into account. Our budget can change due to how our work looks like versus what my work looks like if I'm traveling, you know, as a person. There's a bit of constant compromise and conversation that has to happen in this process. And I wouldn't do this with anybody else. I have learned so much continuously over these 32 years since we were 19 years old. But this particular experience has been an ongoing, growing one that regardless of the outcome, I wouldn't trade.
Yeah, Jice, exactly. Yeah. There are things. Okay, so I'm going to shout out Aging Grateful. They called us on it in our personal conversation and in their last video. I'm saying I will go lean at the beginning because I just need to know that the math is going to math. Financially, the math is going to need to math. And then, you know, then I can double dutch in here. But if I'm out here trying to ball because, you know, I want a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom because, you know, I like space. And then we growing through money faster than I anticipated. That's going to be a problem. But if you know your non-negotiable is, you know,
2 bathrooms.
2 bathrooms.
Have 2 bathrooms.
Have 2 bathrooms. Okay.
Hot water.
What?
Non-negotiable. I don't care if it's 90 million degrees outside. I don't take cold showers. Non-negotiable.
Not having a car, not having to have a car to move around with ease to the places and spaces that are important for my work or for my social well-being. Those are non-negotiables. Okay. If this is a meat-loving culture, I can't get down with it. Okay. If it costs, if I have to consider opening an OnlyFans so that I can go to the grocery store and eat,
we aren't going. Next.
It's too expensive. So those are things that are non-negotiable. You know, if some things that we use sporadically, like rideshare in Costa Rica was as expensive as the States. I was like, then we will go to fewer places, but the space that we're in has enough of the things that bring me joy, that are affordable.
We walked in the rain.
Yes, we did.
It's just, hey, you got to know where you're okay. Listen. We are not trees.
If
you don't like it, you ain't got to be locked in.
That's why we don't sign long-term leases. It's all right to set up. Hey, what did someone tell us? They said, even if you get an Airbnb, you have read the reviews and everything looks good, and you're going to use that as your base, sign up for a week. Because I'm willing to lose 1 week worth of dollars than 1 month worth of dollars. Do your research ahead of time. So if, let's say you get there, you like it, it's a week, and they book the rest of the time, then I got a couple of other places I've got lined up, so I'm not scrambling at the last minute. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you gonna lose money. Okay. I wasn't okay with that in 2022. Not okay with that. We spent $90 one way, 2 people, to get an hour and a half outside of the city that's not something I'm willing to do from a private driver perspective
on a regular basis. In and of itself,
but
it wasn't a bad price for 2 people.
Now that I know how to get back to the city for $5, then it's not bad, but it's not something I want to do regularly. It'll just, I found a more cost-effective way.
Because I got 5 on it. Hey.
We about to do that.
Know where space works for you.
Yes.
There are some people moving to Central and South America because it is more travel convenient than trying to travel to in Africa or in Asia.
Right.
If they're going to be coming back and forth.
Yes.
Trust me. Know your space and your why. I love at my big age.
Oh wait, that needs to be a whole series. Yes. At my big age.
Yes. Stolen. You gotta
know who you are and to craft the best life that suits you. And guess what? After 50, it probably was after 40, but I learned how to say that it don't have to make sense to nobody but me and Mr.
Hey.
Nobody but me and Mr.
Hey, multifaceted me. Yeah, trust me. When you don't have to time,
mm-hmm.
and one of the things that we've been talking about, a part of the purpose of this trip is to interject back in the don't have to times. We recognize how deeply entrenched our personally designed bad habits are. And when I say personally designed, half the things we put ourselves through are not because it's a have to. Time we go to bed, the kind of food we eat, how we rest, how we engage each other and other people. Half that stuff is stuff that we have created on our own. And even in the midst of this vacation, they are prominent. They are front and center. And so we got 2.5 weeks left to be able to...
Don't say that.
To be able to put some things into perspective. Because if we don't, we're going to walk right back into... You flip the switch back into all the habits. Yes, player.
Give me mine.
Yes, player.
Yes.
Yes, because you sitting around waiting on reparations from people who were born the same time you were or after. They don't know what you're talking about.
Not just don't know what
I claim my own.
I'm taking mine.
I claim my own.
Yes.
I delve into ownership of what my future is for myself, for my damn self.
Yep.
And a part of that is, as I say all the time, and I hear Bobby say all the time, as a global citizen,
mm-hmm.
I live where I choose, when I choose, how I choose. And I do that in a way that is respectful of the spaces in which I incorporate, but with an assertiveness that says I belong here as a person.
Yeah.
And respect is both earned and given.
I am a human being. Okay. Not just I'm a human being as in the structure of me, but I'm learning to be a human that is learned to do more being than doing.
Man, look, Rebecca list, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 32,000. Yes. 1% of global earners.
Your flight to an African country outpaces what some people make all year.
Yes.
So you have to remember, when they look at you as a privileged American, because your ability to do so, even if you scraped and scrimped to get those dimes together to make that trip, and you are broke as hell when you get there.
I wish it was just Africa. I think a lot of the ability to move freely.
Getting gringoed is not because they dislike you.
Yeah.
It's because you clearly can do something.
That is. Yeah. Oh, well, then sometimes we get gringo because that's what.
Yeah, well,
we call it on ourselves
because we don't pay attention. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, Bangkok, Asia, convenient and inexpensive.
Yep.
And listen, people like this, those paying attention to that in this information.
Yeah, I'm okay. Hey, if the dollars of the Social Security are still available to us, I know how to live on a budget. I know how to live on a lean budget, and I'm very grateful. I didn't see what happened to us as an opportunity to grow, but we done had some real lean times where I learned how to, what do they say, to make rice and beans work 12 different ways, different flavors, having it 2-3 times a day. We know how to do those things. Will we? No. Let me tell you why. In 2022, when we started the Could This Be Our Last Christmas, Jobs had a death grip. Jobs had a death grip on what I thought was going to be how I moved with peace out of the country. I am making peace with, you're going to have to make it rain a little bit over here and that cover your monthly health insurance costs. You're going to have to make it rain a little bit over here with these digital downloads, and that might be how you cover your ride shares. You might have to take you might have 2 or 3, I want to get one client a month. Dr. Linda is teaching this. One client a month will cover my housing cost. When you think I don't have to have one client pay, $2,000-$3,000. If my rent is $1,200, if my rent is $550, if my rent is $325, depending on where you are in the world, then that one client just opened the door to sustainability for you. I need a lot less. I did not think I could clear our house out. I thought I could clear my house out in 2022. What I recognized was that there's a lot of emotion. Things surrounding me were like a buffer emotionally for I belong here, buying a house versus renting. I have what I need. And then acquiring things makes me feel like I don't have. It is, what do you call that? It's a buffer to the feelings of I don't have. Unwind yourself unwinding myself emotionally to figure out why I felt those feelings. Winsome, I had on this channel talking about visualization, realizing that I was trying to use worst case scenario as how I was going to protect myself from being hurt in this move abroad process. Realized that maybe I couldn't even see the dream fully because I kept introducing, well, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if success happens for your business? What if success happens with your move? Have you even visioned for that? I'm so grateful. I am so grateful that we have taken time to grow. We've had people who've been on our channel that have been like, y'all ain't moved yet. Like, why it's taking y'all so long? Then we're not the channel for you. That's okay. There's something out here for everybody. But if you want to see moving with intention and understanding and in peace and making decisions that bring you peace and not, I got to get out and I got to get out now because so and so got elected or my job might. We're not even living like that.
Whatever these decisions are, we make them with intention. No, Maria, we are not being deported. We leave on our terms. Say it. Listen, there's a whole lot of things. I used to say all the time, I can live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but not with my family. They need to be fed. And if that means I'm going to be hungry, and in some places I'm going to go as a individual man, that I'm not taking my wife. And I'm definitely not taking my wife and kids. So I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicole LaShawn.
Hey, yeah, non-negotiables. You got, and sometimes you don't even realize bathrooms that don't,
like
that don't have
high climates.
Gotta have what do you call that? The sewer smell. You just gotta know. Hot weather.
This is good. Sometimes you can modify your non-negotiables.
Okay.
Yes, I prefer a walkable city.
Abidjan
is not that, but I can get a personal driver to take me anywhere at a very affordable price.
That's it.
If
negotiate your non-negotiables. Okay, Dr. Linda, you just gave us another title.
Better write it down because this old brain. We say my big age ain't gonna remember that. And yes, we do have to be more conservative until we figure out. And it's not a matter of being tight-fisted or stingy.
Yeah,
it's about being thoughtful because
sustainable move abroad. That probably should be the real title of our channel.
Because some of what you're going to do is a part of the unknown until you've been in practice with it. Most of the normal person's scouting trip might be a few weeks at best. You're lucky if you get to do a 2-3 months scouting trip because you really get a chance to see how you are invested.
U.S. employers are not giving you that.
These 5 weeks we're away, and these 5 weeks included 4 countries. We are pushing the boundaries on what we can do for a scouting trip. So we are being very intentional about what we're doing and why. And conservatism in that process does not mean that you then live, under the bar the rest of the time. It just means you're making a process in a way that is authentic to you. Yes, read your leases, and no matter what
it takes to get out of it.
Bob, I hear you. Bus rides 4 cents.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes. $2.50.
I might be on the bus a little longer.
As a matter of fact, Elise told us it was $2. We want to take the charter bus, so it's $2.50. Like, if Greyhound was $2.50, they could keep it.
So still. I'm a free range human. Hey,
that's what I'm talking about.
The chickens.
Oh yeah, y'all. Nikki worked that private driver. Yes, that
Listen,
private driver angle.
Once you and then there's that.
Yeah.
So the gentleman who brought us here, he charged us $80 to come from the hour and a half, a total of $80 for the two of us and our 3 pieces of luggage from the airport an hour and a half away here. In and of itself, that's not bad because $30 is across town in Huntsville in an Uber.
And so $30 was across town in San Jose too.
Okay, so hey, but
I can't do that multiple times.
I'm almost positive he's not charging our hosts $90, $80 every time she take a ride to the airport because they got a relationship. Sometimes your adjusted negotiable is a relationship. Let's see. Yes, multiple streams of income.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about building that budget, but I've given y'all the sprinkling. Like, I need enough streams. If I have to break the stream down to fund, each stream funds one thing, and then sometimes those streams will come together so that I can do more. But sometimes you just need the multiple streams, not to stack the total amount. It can be to cover even a small amount.
Right.
So tutoring English online, there are lots of different aspects of things.
Joyce giving you a Spanish lesson.
Okay.
Más barato, mi amigo, necesito un piso, vaso, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I have free access.
I need my fruits and vegetables.
I have free access to Rosetta Stone. I promise. I will do more. Hey, Evelyn, I am looking forward to seeing you this Friday. I'm looking forward to seeing you this Friday. We're actually doing a meetup in Panama City this Friday. So get with Elise, Evelyn, because she has the details.
Hey, Tanya, listen, you are number one stunner. Whenever I open, you are there. We can be any way we can be a part of your world.
Absolutely.
We are thankful to you for allowing us to be a part of your. We coming to sit on your couch for the next holiday. Tell your husband to get off the road. We coming to sit down.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Come on through. Come on through. Global.
Yes.
Global. Freedom is in being where we want to be. Hey, the free Black, my ancestors, we are their wildest dreams for freedom. Okay? Getting back to our freedom. We know where they've been because we see literal statues of the evidence of them being in the Americas, traveling all over the globe, the influence of spices and cooking methods that were indigenous to the continent are in many places. They've been there for hundreds of years, but many places. So I know it wasn't just people coming there. We were going, and we were going far, and we were using navigational knowledge and building relationships and not colonizing.
Hey, that's what the locals do. I ain't gonna check my curry. I'll be back.
Okay.
That's what the locals do for you.
Okay. Comes from not running the water through the pipes. Okay. A couple of times a day. Okay. Now when we were in Puerto Vallarta, she had covers over the shower drain. And I think that was what she told us. And that may have been because it was an Airbnb in a condo, that the water might not have run through the line as much. So thank you. Now, but what about on the streets? Like, I can smell it coming from the ground, and not necessarily because there's trash, but yeah, there are some places, I'm not saying Mexico in particular, but yeah, you got to know what your I'm trying to get strong enough for street food. Because Bali Belly, and I'm pretty sure there's something like that saying So yes, I travel with activated charcoal, just in case things don't line up well for me. So yeah, you got to know you got to know your things. A walkable city, yes. We because we're 50 plus, walkability has evolved. If I needed to be in a wheelchair because I have a broken leg, like Jimmy had, we interviewed Jimmy and Rosemary really early on. And when they landed in Mexico, he had broken his leg. And so she was trying to push her husband in a wheelchair and carry their luggage. Like, I need to know that there are spaces and places, or I need to leverage, even if it's not walkable, like Dr. Linda said, I need to know how to get a driver on the ground. I had not used booking.com, but everybody, like on the trip to Mexico, not to Mexico, to Morocco, our friends are using booking.com in a variety of places. And I was like, girl, you got to get confident with that. So using it on these scouting trips is going to give me more of that confidence. Yep. But I'm also going to enjoy going to the mall when we get to Panama. So if you are coming to Panama, bring like maybe a couple of garments. Bring very few things, because the mall is malling here. The mall is okay. First of all, when you get off the plane, there's the whole mall in the airport going from Terminal 1 to Terminal 2. But then there's also, where are we going? Oh, the Albrook Mall, 3 floors. There's a train, kids train inside. There's a merry-go-round inside. There are multiple food courts. Low end, high end. They got it all at Albrook. So bus is going to drop us off at the bus station, the main bus terminal at Albrook, and then we're going to go in the mall, because I can't buy a whole bunch of stuff, but I want to see what they got. Don't come. I just said, if I had known, I would have just brought, maybe four items and then just bought what I needed when we got here.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Hey, better safe than sorry. Yes. Let the adrenaline dissipate.
Yes.
Yes. Get out of the honeymoon phase. Yes. Hey, Sam. What's going on? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and all your babies.
Let's see. Oh, they have covers on their drains. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
one of the places we went to was the same, and that kept that smell down as well.
Right. That's where I was told about Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That, y'all. Yeah. Hold on. Your dad. That's a big deal. My mom getting hers renewed. When I found out I didn't have to get her permission, I could just go in there and renew it for her, with her. That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing for sure.
Hey, we're not coming to see y'all no more. We're coming to see Pops, because Pops is a player.
Nikki's daddy is living his whole best life. Getting a little social. What do you call it? What is the saying? Making friends and, oh gosh, I can't remember the saying, but yeah, making friends and influencing people. That's what Nikki's daddy's doing.
Evan said go to the other mall. We'll have to see, because we're only there a day and a half.
Yes.
And I don't want to miss y'all.
Multi-Plaza. Is that the one with the high-end stuff? There's the high-end mall that has all of the Prada and all of that. And then we're going to the stores that are accessible to us. But when I saw that there was a Shein store here, I was like, they got that? I need to get the deets.
Those are the kind of products work for the ladies. The fellas know you buy something from them stores, you wear it like a man. You get broke like a man.
But I want to know if they, I have a size 9.5. I wear a size 9.5 shoe. I have wondered, can I find my shoes now in Southeast Asia? Baby, it's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be a struggle
like that,
finding my body size. And so those are the kinds of things I'm looking to make sure that are a match. Or if they're not, I'm bringing my sewing machine.
This shirt,
because they in the Albrook Mall, y'all, they got a fabric store. I'm a little broke up. They got a fabric store. This crafter. I need crafts. I need people who enjoy sewing and crafting.
Listen,
it used to be the Albrook Mall is on the ex Air Force Base property here in Panama. So if that gives you some idea of how large it is.
Service announcements to those who may have forgotten. Sizes are not the same here, no matter what it says on the thing. This shirt says extra large. I bought it extra large so that I knew it would be larger than normal. If I eat one biscuit too many,
warn me.
It will be an effective medium. I will be out here flexing and I'll be diving in this pool. That's the only way I'm gonna get it off. So it's got 3 buttons hit in the middle. I'm sitting in the way to make it look funky right here at the top, and I'm unbuttoned at the bottom. My stand is great, and I sit, it's a mess. So I just need y'all to know, if you don't have something that fits you,
oh goodness,
bring. They all talking about buying clothes. I'm not a big dude, but I'm big enough to know. Yeah, medium is in my muscular days.
Oh, good.
Listen, it is this every year, every opportunity to be able to grow and to learn and to share is an honor for D&I.
Yes.
2 years ago yesterday, when we launched our first video, there's no way we could have anticipated what we've learned and the community that we've engaged in these past 2 years. Yeah. So as always, and we try to do this regularly, as always, we are thankful to you. This holiday season, you hear all the time, it's the reason for the season, and the divine has a purpose and plan for each of us.
Yes.
The universe was designed with you in mind. And fear and anxiety and depression and hopelessness are not a part of your destiny. I re-signed up for counseling this week. And that's not a TMI moment. That's just to be able to say that it get real pretty and beautiful right here. But real life can be a royal kick in the ass. And this process is at times overwhelming. And not just this move abroad process. The aging parents, aging children, maintaining the relationship. We've been married 25 years. We've been together 32 years. You don't just wake up every day and it's okay. And whether I get to keep a job, stay in a job, and all of those things affect how you engage life. And so we want to continue to encourage each and every one of you, collectively and individually, to search for your best you in ways that is authentic to you, not what people tell you. There are so many things that get in the way. Culture, you know, when I worked at the university, I had so many students from the islands and from Africa who were saying, this is my degree, and I'm trying to figure out how not to go home because I don't want to do that. But everybody at home says I have to do that. You know, it's time to help our young people find their lives so that when they're 50 plus, 40 plus, 60 plus, they're not now going, okay, now how do I find a life that suits me? I desire to be happy. My relationship with you is about my happiness.
Yes.
That's a selfishness. It's about my happiness. You bring me joy. And I am thankful for the joy that you allow me to share with you.
Absolutely.
We are in love with each and every one of you. Because you have enlightened and brightened us.
Absolutely.
So we hope that on this Christmas day, on this day of celebration, that you have a chance to be lifted. It's hard for those of us who've lost somebody. Holidays are hard. I miss my mother. I know you missed your father. We miss being away from the kids today. We're getting off with you, and we're probably going to bug the hell out of them the rest of the day. So in between watching football and talking, we'll be talking to them all day online. But you've made this little bit of time a little bit more special for us today, and we thank you for stopping in on what is a personal family enjoy day.
Absolutely. I am unapologetically choosing myself. To be able to see that difference in me from 2022 till today and the possibilities that exist when we center our own joy individually and then come together to make happiness or dreams or comfort or fulfillment happen. To be in community and have people cheer for you, to empathize with you, to solution with you. Mm-hmm. There is no way our process would have moved as far forward as it has. You don't know what is possible until you move into the space. Mm-hmm. And so we did YouTube scared and ignorant.
Both and. Mm-hmm.
But we chose the barrier of least resistance and then are trying to elevate the experience for those who choose to follow what we're doing. The accountability, the ability to celebrate you and the wins that you are having, to invite you all into your space. A lot of the people in the chat today have been guests on our channel because we have found opportunities to connect. If you want to be a guest, messages on Instagram, and let us know what you'd like to be able to share with with our audience as a community member. There are countless opportunities that you won't know until you are moving. If you don't recognize, because you haven't taken stock of what happened for you, with you this year, take a moment. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is the beginning of Kwanzaa. We do a lot of reflecting, looking back and looking forward as a part of Kwanzaa. I now realize I've got my Kanar that is probably too big to travel. So I'm looking for, if y'all have some ideas about how I can manage maybe a smaller set with maybe some birthday candle level. I don't know. But we love lighting our red, black, and green candles, and having the corn and the fresh fruits, and on and our whole setup, but we can take our traditions with us. It is possible, as Stephanie Perry has said, it is possible to be leaving or running from something and running toward something at the same time. Recognize your growth and celebrate it.
No matter where you go, you take you
with you.
So whoever you desire to be, you choose to be that person today. We'll see you in a couple of days.
Absolutely. Bye for now.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.